G'day everyone, today we're here talking about the VMC Grip-R Heavy range. I've got Mick here with me and we're going to go through the range of that suits the CrushCity shapes really well to the heavies. So mate, before we kick off and with the CrushCities and what sizes work really well with the heavies, what makes these Grip-R heavies so unique and different to what's on the market?
So again, the Grip-R obviously standing for gripping especially our CrushCity baits, super TPE material. We've got that lead and wire keeper together, so obviously that helps hold our material so well. That pin system is by far the best way to hold TPE material. And probably something else which is another added feature to the Grip-R range is we've actually got that extra hanger on the bottom of the jig head. So we've got that extra eyelet, so great for guys who like dressing up your jig head with a willow blade or something like that if you want extra flash, or if you are fishing some of those bigger baits where you've got those aggressive fish that eat a head first, you could stick a little treble underneath. So you obviously got the option there to just run it as a standard jig head, or you can actually dress it up and put a blade or a treble under them. Yeah,
okay, so it gives you plenty of options, to how you like to fish and stuff. Yeah. You want the treble, or you want a blade, or just want to run it standard. So, and also, with these heavier hooks, so we've got the VMC 7161, so they're like a 3x sort of strong hook, mate. So they're great for your species like your mangrove jack. What other species would you sort of target for?
It's good for some of your smaller inshore squire or snapper. Your bigger flathead, obviously your smaller dewies that are in the system, but any of those sort of fish that you can sort of fish that from say 8 pound to about 15 pound sort of thing, like your medium sort of, up to your medium sort of class rods, the hook's fine. Like even as you said, talking about mangrove jacks, I've caught plenty of mangrove jacks on them and I haven't straightened one out yet, only because I use the right rods, that's why.
Okay, sweet. Well, mate, let's kick off with the first size, and that's the 2.0, mate. So what would the 2.0 be ideal for in our CrushCity range?
So the 2.0, you can still use it on some of our small baits. So if you are chasing, say, some of those pelagic style fish like tailor or giant herring or something like that, you can fish them on our CrushCity jerk, our little 375-inch jerk. I'd put that 2.0 in them. Also, if you are chasing, say, your mangrove jacks and all that, and they're on a smaller prawn pattern, you could use our 3-inch imposter. Obviously, our new 325-inch creeper. Again, if you're chasing flatties and you're using a little bit heavier rods and line, that heavier hook in the creeper, and the 3-inch heavy hitter as well, like ideal for mangrove jack when they're early season, they're still on a little bit smaller bait, or your flatties, that's a great flathead bait, like big action, and the hook will stand up to some of those fish, especially if you're fishing some of the deeper water sort of stuff. You're obviously fishing a little bit heavier rod, that heavier hook is probably what you need. Yeah,
right, okay, sweet. So now stepping up to the size 3.0, so I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the sizes that we
so the 3.0, again, that 3-inch heavy hitter, it's probably the hook I'd probably like to use on flatties and, obviously bass, you can use on the Australian bass. That 325-inch creeper, it's probably getting on the last hook you'd put in that bait. Definitely that 375-inch suspect, that's probably the one I like using when I'm using a little bit heavier line on the flatties. Those inshore snapper, squire, those kind of things. So that'd be in the 3.0 range. I think they're the ones that you're going to tick off in our CrushCity.
Okay, so it's a lot more broader range of the CrushCities that'll suit that really well. So mate, then stepping up, so 4.0.
4.0 is when you start probably putting it in our 4-inch heavy hitter. That'd be the smaller hook. Sometimes I like running that shorter hook on the jacks, because they do eat a bait head first. You could also use it in our 5-inch jerk. So that's probably one of the ones, if you like that strolling technique, a little bit shorter and the thing gets the bait rocking. You could put it in our 375-inch suspect as well. That'd probably be the final hook.
Probably the maximum for that.
The maximum hook in them. And I think that's probably it in the range out of them.
Yep. Okay. Sweet. And then the final one, so that we go up to in the heavy is the 5.0.
Yep.
So it would probably be a couple of sizes that would still work for the 5.0.
Yeah. So 5.0 again, your 5-inch jerk. That's a great hook for, you know, obviously offshore stuff if you're doing a little bit of snapper fishing. Again, that strolling technique works good on the flatties. It's a great lure in the deep water for the flatty. That bigger hook, you know, obviously that bigger gape, you know, they've got a big mouth.
Yep.
Our 4-inch heavy hitter, that 5.0 is probably, it's a mainstay for me. Like a 5.0, I do put that in quite a bit. It does stiffen the bait up because it's a little bit further back in the bait, but that'd be probably the couple in the range that I'd put them in the 5.0.
Yep, sweet. And so so that's pretty much the range of the heavies. So just quickly going on with the weights. So we've got them. So we'll go to a 1/8.
Yep.
And we go up to a 5/8.
Yep.
So you know, you sort of all those different weights. You sort of got the whole water column. You know, in your inshore and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously, depending on what you're fishing for, you know, there's obviously the weights throughout the range that suit our size baits that you could fish. You know, whatever water column you're going to fish. So if you've got current or, you are fishing deeper water, you just obviously match the jig head to give it the most natural fall that you can get to the bottom sort of thing. So
yeah, awesome. So guys, if you're in the market for a heavier sort of jig head stepping up from the finesse, make sure you go down to your local VMC stockist and check out the VMC Grip-R heavy range.